So yesterday I did a video and I mentioned that if you read Genesis 22 just right, it looks like Abraham might have in fact sacrificed Isaac. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the documentary hypothesis, it's a notion that there are 4 different authors plus editors and redactors that put the Torah together. This is the Bible with sources revealed by Richard Elliott Friedman. I'll put a link down below. And he gives you the different passages in the Torah by the different authors by color coding here. So here we have the bold green. This would be an E or Elohist story. Okay. So we see here that Abraham's taking Isaac up the mountain to sacrifice his son. And the 2 of them went together, and they came to the place that God had said, and Abraham built the altar, and there arranged the wood, and he bound Isaac, his son, and put him on the altar on top of the wood, and Abraham put out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. And then we notice we have a different font, which is highlighted light green. So this is the redactor of the J source that is inserted here. When we get back to the E source, it says, so remember, Abraham's got the knife. He's about to sacrifice him. And he said, I swear by me that because you did this thing and didn't withhold your son, your only one, that I'll bless you and multiply your seed. So it sounds like he sacrificed Isaac. Then at the end of the story, and Abraham went back to his boys, and they got up and went to Be'er-sheva, and Abraham lived in Be'er-sheva. Okay, so Abraham's in Be'er-sheva. Now we switch back to the J source. Genesis 23, this is when Sarah dies and is buried by Abraham, and Isaac isn't there. This is a P source story. Okay, so we get to the end of that story, and we switch back to the J source. Abraham was old, well along in days, and God had blessed Abraham in everything, and Abraham said to his servant, the elder of the house, who was in charge of all that he had, place your hand under my thigh, and he sends him off to look for a wife for his son. J source all the way through this chapter. Okay, now something interesting here. Just for note, there's some confusion I mentioned about where Isaac is, and let's see if I can find it here. Let's see, it's towards the end of the chapter. Here we go. And Isaac was coming from the area of the well Laharoi, and he was living in the territory of the Negev. Okay, now the Negev is where Be'er-sheva is, but he's at Be'er Laharoi. So he's not with Abraham in the J source. Okay, he's somewhere in the Negev, somewhere in the area, but he's not with Abraham, and he's, not with Sarah in any of the sources here, right? So then we get back to our main source here, the E source, chapter 25, and Abraham went on and took a wife, and her name was Keturah. So this source goes from Abraham going up the mountain, comes back with his son, comes back down alone, the angel blesses him for not withholding his son, and Abraham goes out and takes a wife named Keturah. So in every single version of this story, Abraham and Sarah are no longer together. Isaac, I guess, is somewhere in the Negev. It's just not clear. Now, am I saying that the E source does in fact have Abraham sacrificing Isaac? No, I'm not going to go that far. It just looks that way to me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.